Welcome to part 2 of making over all my clients' furniture. But first things first, we gotta get all of these pieces loaded from our storage unit. Me struggling and getting mad at the lock. I swear I can't be the only one. Moving on, we got a bed frame, a mirror, and a long dresser. She gave us a total of 6 pieces, so this was actually a really big job for us. So we actually did 3 in my last video, and so these guys are the rest. Before I can get these squeaky clean, I like to take out the hardware because we won't be needing them anymore. These batwing poles are pretty outdated and I've only ever had one client want to keep them. In this case, we're going to be adding knobs, so these holes have to go. And if you want to get your piece scrubbed real clean, you should think about using one of these brush attachments on your drill. It can get a little heavy, as you can see in my double-handed hold, but it gets the job done fast. And for the mirror, I wanted to be pretty gentle with it, so I just opted to do it by hand. Now, I noticed that one of these dovetail joints were loose, so I fixed it with some glue and then just clamped them down. These clamps are so heavy, you guys, especially when you're holding onto them by one side, but I did have Kendall help me stabilize the other end. And oh my gosh, the inside of this thing was as dusty as my diploma. Not the worst I've seen, but you'll see, it's like a blanket. So like I said earlier, we're gonna be replacing the hardware with knobs, so these holes aren't doing anything for me. We'll fill them in with Bondo. Now, while that's drying, it's a good time to move on to the bed frame. Now, when I did this flip, this was in the end of October, and I live in Vancouver where it rains every other day, so we really had to make use of the days that it wasn't raining since this bed was so freaking big and it needed to be done while assembled, so then the pieces would all stand up. Now I'm just removing the shine from the piece with my orbital sander so that the primer has something to adhere to. So basically when you sand, you're essentially creating small scratches on the surface that your products can grab onto. And now that my Bondo is dry, I'm gonna do the same thing and begin to flatten my filler before applying my oil-based primer. Luckily for us, my clients actually kept all her furniture in really good shape, so I actually didn't have to do too much filling, which is a huge time saver. Shout out to Rita. Now, using this type of primer is especially useful in places where you've sanded down to the bare wood. As you can see, I'm using a spray can trigger attachment so that my hand doesn't cramp while holding down the button, but I feel like raw dogging it just gives you a little bit more control. And we were on a bit of a time crunch, so I wanted to get all of these primed before the day was over. So with my paint sprayer, I'm laying down my first layer of this warm white paint over everything, making sure to hit the details at the right angle. I'm putting on 2 coats of color before moving on to polyurethane. And props to whoever invented the paint sprayer, because doing this by hand would have taken forever. So we just finished doing 2 coats of paint and we're moving on to the top coat to seal everything in. I just have poly in my sprayer mixed in with the paint that was left over in the gun to give a little bit of extra coverage. After everything's been sprayed again, Kendall's helping me secure the supports back onto the side rails, and with that, we are done the entire set.
Okay, we're duty.
Check out the mirror. It's always so satisfying for me to peel back the paper and finally be able to get to see what it looks like. So here they were before, nothing too special. They're a little orange, a little outdated, but now they're all nice and clean and modern, just in time for 2024. So thank you for watching part 2 of my client's makeover series. I hope you enjoyed the video. If you missed the last one, be sure to check it out, and I will see you guys next time. Making my way downtown, walking fast, facing.